everyone, I'm Becky,
I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we were talking about Bound by Ali Hazelwood, which we both got off of NetGalley because it is a audiobook exclusive that I actually saw it on her Instagram where she's like, this is available on NetGalley now.
So is it only coming out as an audiobook?
I think so. I mean, a lot of them do that now, though, because I think because particularly romance audiobooks are so popular. So, or you'll get where they only do like an audiobook and a Kindle. Um, so I'm double checking the names of the character. Okay, so this book is about Vero, and she is a grad student. She has a very criminal family history, but she's kind of like setting her way, like trying to become like legit. She's going to grad school. It's great. She gets this job working at, was it just antique books or was it antique everything?
You don't know. You say that I don't know. Like, because they only talked about the books.
So she gets this job working with this guy who sells collectibles. And she identifies something as being a forgery. And basically his company is going under and she cares about the company. So he convinces her to basically make it better. And they start selling their forgeries. And everything's going okay for a while until she gets confronted at a auction for an item that she had forged up, and she gets kidnapped, and it turns out that the people who kidnapped her are ancient creatures,
Immortal?
immortal. I was like, were they actually immortal? And they were the original creators of the document that she forged, and they need her to forge something else and offer an obscene amount of money. So of course she's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And of course there's a dreamy immortal named Victor who she's drawn to, and things go from there. So there are parts of this I like. I like Ali Hazelwood's voice. I like the way she writes her characters. However, for me, this book felt like a pilot of a TV show.
Yeah, it felt like a prequel. Like, it follows the general trajectory of a vampire, even though he's not a vampire, but of a vampire novel. Like, but I don't know.
Right.
But
And
nothing
like,
happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened for a good majority of the book. Even like no like real steamy scenes happened. Like nothing happened.
I'll be quite honest, like I didn't really read the description that well. So like a third of the way through the book, I'm like, who is the love interest? Because for a second I thought it was like Pierre, just because that's who she was interacting with. And I'm like, I'm confused.
Well,
I also like the reader is somebody who I usually really like their audiobooks, and the character's name is Vero, which is short for Veronica. I swear I thought they were saying Barrow.
yeah, I thought it was. Thought it was a made up name for at least half the book. So yes, I don't know. Like, and I don't know. Like, I typically like Ali Hazelwood's voice, and I think I still liked it in this context. But I really didn't like the male reader. I really didn't. And like, cause it just sounded creepy to me. He sounded like somebody's dad or grandfather, and like I couldn't vibe with it. Like, it was just not working for me. And like, it did not work for me so much so that like I just couldn't get into the book at all. And so whether or not Ali Hazelwood's voice worked for me in this context, I can't really tell because the reader really bugged me.
See, and that didn't bother me. I feel like he's read other stuff too.
And I'm sure like he did a perfectly fine job, but like reading for Victor did not work for me.
I don't know, and I feel like there's not a lot to say about this book. Like, yes, like I thought the forgery stuff was interesting, and I feel like this is in the very beginning of the book, so it's okay to say. I thought it was really interesting that they were buying things that had been forged that like she could tell were forged and just making them better. So if anybody caught them, they'd be like, don't know, didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of fun. I thought the stuff about the forgery was fun. I will say, I swear there was a line at the beginning that said something about magical powers or elven something. So I thought she was gonna be magical too.
Yeah,
I
same.
kept
Where
waiting
they
for
said
that to
that in
happen.
like the first chapter, like about her, like it made a reference to Elvin something.
Yeah. And maybe they just meant like, you know how that's like a way to describe people's faces?
Yeah, that. But it's weird that you and I both remember that
Yeah.
because it was really like a throwaway line. Like it wasn't. I don't know. It just.
Well, and it's interesting because like we both are remembering stuff that we didn't love as opposed to like what we did love. And I think part of the issue is the thing I've always liked about Ali Hazelwood's books is like there's a certain level of awkward flirtiness, and this book did not have that.
Well, and it made me uncomfortable when it did because I didn't like the male. You know what I mean? Like I was okay with there not being as much of it because it really turned me off, made me uncomfortable. Like it felt skeevy. I don't know. It felt like teacher falling in love with student kind of. That's not what was happening in this book, but that's what it felt like to me. I don't know. I didn't like it.
I will also say I feel like I don't know when they say this, but they say that are they're the Revenant. And there was a YA book series where people were revenants. Did you ever read that? Where like it was, I think it was Amy Plum. It was based in France. I really liked it. And it was like basically people who had died being heroic and they would come back and like were basically immortal and they were supposed to like continue to help save people and they were the revenant. And so every time like they would say, I would think of that.
Hmm.
Totally a me problem. Should we rate this?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and I think it speaks larger, like, I think for me, this kind of solidifies that I really don't like Ali Hazelwood's fantasy stuff. Like, I didn't like Bride, so I didn't even bother with Mate. This one, like, it, I wonder if it would have worked more for me had she focused on the forgery stuff, taken out the fantasy stuff, and explored more of her past. The character constantly tells us that she, had some shady family members, but like it never really showed us that. There was no actual interaction with her parents. It was just her
Yeah.
saying that her parents like were super shady people. I don't know. I just feel like maybe if you had focused more on the realistic stuff, it would have worked better.
Well, and I see that's the thing that's interesting is I did like Bride. I didn't love Meat. I really liked Not in Love, but I didn't really love Problematic Summer Romance. So I'm kind of like, where am I at?
I'm not completely like a hard no on everything. I'm just like, no thanks to the supernatural stuff. Like
But
that's,
I will also say, like, her stuff that I don't love is still significantly better than a lot of other stuff.
I mean, I don't know. Like this book, I could have read something else.
So we should just rate it. Our
Yeah.
rating system starts top with 5 unicorns. We go down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it is a horse.
Well, I feel weird rating this just because I up until this point, like I really liked a lot of Eli Hazelwood's stuff, but like this specific one I didn't like, and I think I'm gonna give it a two. I mean, her voice was still there, so like it wasn't completely like do not finish, but like it just didn't work for me.
See, and like I'm at a 3, which is what I was saying was like even not loving it, it was better than a lot of other stuff I've read lately. But yeah, and I think that it might have been considered better if I didn't have an expectation for her. So that is where we are on Bound, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.